Hey everyone, welcome to Wednesday, and today we are going to learn a little bit more about live broadcasting from Microsoft Teams, as well as Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, which I am going live out on right now. Welcome to our Wednesday edition of this masterclass related to live streaming. I'm going to get started here in a moment. Hey everyone, welcome back. This is a quick tutorial on setting up a live event within Microsoft Teams. So as you may or may not be aware, Microsoft Teams is an application that I can run on my system. And it's also a website. So Microsoft Teams is available in a browser from teams.microsoft.com. It's cross-platform. It'll run on a Mac or a PC. I'm running it from Windows 10 here. You can see I'm in another meeting from another device. But today, Wednesday, I don't have anything scheduled. I had a live event scheduled Tuesday. So what we're going to do to schedule an event for today is drop down the arrow to the right of new meeting, and we're going to go right into scheduling a live event in Microsoft Teams. We'll call this live event Wednesday. I can invite additional people over here to the right as either producers or presenters. As a producer, I can play both roles, so I'll just use myself as an example here. And then from there, I can go ahead and add a location, a start time, and ending. Any other information I want to provide. Next, I can make this a public event like we did yesterday. Add my Q&A to the settings that I already have. Some of these settings that are grayed out are set up as the administrator of the Office 365 tenant, where Microsoft Teams is getting those answers from. So I can control recording choices from an admin perspective, and then these are grayed out because they're set to automatically record, and I can go ahead and schedule this. Now, what I'll get when I schedule this is both an attendee link, and this is what I can put out to different platforms. And I've got somebody that I'd like to invite to this. Go ahead and get contact info and send that on over to Aaron. So I can edit this event, add somebody else, make Aaron a producer, then go ahead and send off that invite. Now, the two parts of the invite that we can see here are the attendee link, which is what you give to people to attend the session, and then an invite link to participate or join as a producer or a presenter, depending on what I've got set up. Info for today. Go ahead and set that up. And then I'm going to go ahead and join as a producer. I can decide to have my video on or off and my sound muted or unmuted, and I'm using my headset within Microsoft Teams. So just like yesterday, I can see my pre-video as well as my video feed here. I'm going to send Aaron some information about joining in the StreamYard. And then we're going to go ahead and get our information for this event. I'll send that off to Aaron as well. Okay. If Aaron joins here, I would see Aaron within the live event as another presenter, and he would have as a producer the same view that I have, any video or content that we're going to be sharing, and then the live event once I've started it. Within StreamYard, I have the ability to have people in that meeting as well because we're doing both at the same time. I mentioned yesterday that I can put my audio in, but my video, because I'm using that in StreamYard, isn't available within the Teams meeting. We'll have to see if we can reverse that for an upcoming session. But I can add my content here by sharing an application like Microsoft PowerPoint, and then put that into our live event as the video that I'm sharing. And then I can go ahead and send that live so that people can see this if they're joining us from the Teams environment. We get a slight delay, but that's how you set up a live event. Now I've got PowerPoint going out live. We've got audio as well. And if I had video or another guest, I can actually put the content on the left and the video on the right. So that's how you go live from within Microsoft Teams. Now, another option I have is to go live with another platform like StreamYard. And I just spoke yesterday to two people that are using Restream as a service. And so I'll be signing up for that today, and we'll be looking at that in all likelihood tomorrow as an alternative to StreamYard. And what those platforms allow you to do is set up Teams as the recipient, similar to what we did with Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter for today's. And Restream appears to have the ability to stream to any of 30 services and one stream per service. So instead of having to choose the 3 or upgrading with StreamYard, Restream looks like I can set up to 30 of these different destinations, one destination per platform, and leverage it that way. So we should be able to do all 4 from that environment. I'll play around with that, like I said, either tomorrow or Friday this week. But now that we're live on both YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, and I've also gone live from a standpoint of the Microsoft Live event, we've got all these things going on at the same exact time. So I could look at my comments back and forth with different participants. I could look at the Q&A from the meeting perspective. So if anybody joins and asks a question, I would get those questions here under new, and then I could publish them to make them public, or I could respond to somebody individually. And I also have the capabilities of using Teams while I'm within this meeting. So if I go back over to our calendar and I look at the other option to set up a live event, so the arrow to the right, live event, maybe we set one up for 1:30 today. I'll invite Aaron again. Go grab his email address real quick. So with StreamYard this time. Now, if I do an org-wide or people in groups, I should have the option here to set up an external app or device. And that might be grayed out because I'm actually in a meeting right now. But the external app and device is what I would choose to set up this meeting within StreamYard. So we'll look at that separately, maybe when we're done with this broadcast. So we've got the broadcast that we're currently doing that's live. And once I've ended a broadcast, I can't come back to the broadcast. The way we showed this yesterday was within the Windows Sandbox. So I can leverage the Windows Sandbox to come into this meeting and show what that looks like from a standpoint of the attendee experience. And what else here can I do? Let's just walk through these items up here. I can show the health and performance of my video processing and my live event. We talked about the Q&A panel. I also have meeting notes that I could address with my other fellow presenters and producers. The comments back and forth are our conversation. And then I can also add additional participants. So if I forgot to invite somebody, I can go ahead and do that up here. And then I also have the settings, including the audio device that I'm leveraging and the camera that I'm leveraging. And the camera is unavailable right now because I'm using that in StreamYard for our stream. See if I can stop the camera and get it back into Teams here. Looks like it's still not available, probably because it's in use in the other meeting, or was in use in StreamYard. So what I could try here is leaving the live event, which is different from ending the live event. The live event will continue even though I leave. And then I can come back to the live event as a producer. Turn on my video camera here. See if that works. It's still grayed out because of the issue we talked about. Because I dropped, my video was not shared. So I could go back and share one of my screens. I have two screens set up right now. So screen one is where I have this window, the Teams information, as well as the StreamYard application shared. And then screen two, right now, I don't have anything on. So I can share either of those screens within the live event. And now I'm sharing screen two in the Microsoft Live event. We can go ahead and do the same thing here so that you can see the same thing that people are seeing in the live event on the other platforms. The only things that are different between the Microsoft Teams stream of this and the StreamYard stream at this point are the welcome banner and the picture in the upper right, because I have those features from within StreamYard. So if I hide the welcome banner and I get rid of my branding, these are essentially the same view that you would get from the Teams live event. And so if I took my presentation and made sure that I flip my primary and secondary monitors and go into presentation view, now everybody, including the Microsoft Live event from Teams, the Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube links all look the same now because they're all using the same address for this meeting. Now the question would be, the other three links are fairly short. They're not as long as the really long address that I would use to create or to provide you a link to get to this meeting from within Teams. The one thing I can do is I can use a URL shortener. The one that I have experience with is bit.ly, bit.ly. And right at the top, it allows me to create short links. So I can take the really long link out of Microsoft Teams. If I go back to our Teams window and I go to our meeting invite for this meeting, and I'm going to grab our long invite. And you can see right here how long it is. Multiple lines. Bit.ly just shortened it into this short URL. That's much easier to provide to somebody else. So instead of this address, this whole thing up here, Bit.ly just shortened it into a much more digestible address. And what I can do with that is add it to our slides as a fourth choice to join us online. And what that would look like, if I can find my minimize, is the top link here. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. We'll see if we can open a browser to that address here successfully. We talked about this yesterday. The experience from the web would be what I'm looking for here because I'm already using the Teams client. I just muted the tab by right-clicking on the header and muting the tab, and then I can unmute the tab for sound. And the reason for that is because the live event, if I'm watching, produces sound as well, and then you can be in the situation where you get feedback because you're hearing what you're presenting at the same time you are presenting. And it's another reason I'm wearing headphones. So now the live event is live streaming. I can see that. I can catch up to where we are live, which is probably this window being shown in the video. And that's that top link. So the live event is available as a shortened URL from bit.ly. And depending on the shortening service you use, some allow you to change the beginning. So I could do branding other than bit.ly for my company or my employer. And then you can also do custom URLs after bit.ly or your shortened URL. So I could do something with my name or, that this is a session on a Wednesday. However I want to do that are all available if you set it up that way. So let's take a quick look in StreamYard and see if anybody has joined us here. It doesn't look like I have anybody else that's come into the studio. But my options from a standpoint of this meeting would be to, if I had guests, have those guests share their video, share their screens, present what they are here to present, and then go back and forth with the different options from a Teams perspective. And the way I do that within a live event in Teams is right within this interface. So I queue up whatever I want to present next on the left, and then I send that out live on the right. You'll notice on this other monitor, my second monitor, everything's kind of scrunched, where it's not as nice as it was on my much larger primary screen. So there is a way within Teams to change the size, the font size, that's leveraged within your window. And if you can't remember what that keyboard shortcut is, it's up in your picture or your initials. And zoom in and out is right there on the screen, but the keyboard shortcuts are listed. And the keyboard shortcuts are Control equals, which is the same as the plus key, and Control minus. If I hit Control minus a couple times, it makes everything a little more like it looked on my much larger monitor. The downside to the 13-inch monitor I'm using next to a 28-inch monitor is everything's a little smaller on that smaller monitor. So you can decide how you're using dual or even triple monitors within a Teams live event as well. So the live event can either have my video at the bottom, my content, or the combination of the two. By doing this, if my video is being used within the live event and not within StreamYard. What else can we do within our live events? I can have video content within a live event as well. And when I'm sharing my screen, decide that I'm leveraging the sound of the computer as well. Some of the controls will also be changing for live events. The sharing and the stop sharing you can see are towards the bottom here. Those will be moving to the upper right within the Teams interface for live events. So they were down here in my tenant. I've been in some early preview tenants where the sharing controls are up in the upper right, just like they are for a regular meeting. And if I stop sharing my content here, then my meeting goes to no content being shared, and I can decide what else I'm going to share. Or we talked about ending my live event. There's Aaron. Hey, Aaron. How are you?
There's Aaron. I'm well. How are you?
Excellent.
Hey, Aaron.
Found your way in.
I'm well. I've got multiple.
Found your way in. Yeah, if you mute your.
Yeah, I just did.
You got it. You got it. Have you played around with Teams live events or?
Yeah,
I
was doing it. I'm taking the training. So.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
This is StreamYard that we're leveraging here.
Right.
Showing is the Teams experience. StreamYard is something that a colleague of mine that is a Microsoft certified trainer suggested. It supports up to 10 videos at the same time. So if I had need to put a panel together, you could do that within StreamYard. The other suggestion I got from some other contacts was Restream. And I want to do some testing with that as another way to either bring those streams to Teams or other platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. There's over 30 platforms that Restream supports natively, so we could go a lot of different places with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of different places to go.
It's good to connect in person again. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been applying to university positions, so
cool.
I was busy with that. So
yeah. Yeah, we should talk. I just got a ping from somebody at Microsoft that's looking for various people as well. So we'll have a side conversation maybe after this meeting.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Thank you.
So one thing I can do with StreamYard, and I can share that interface, Aaron, because you can't see it from your end.
Right.
Is share that screen. I kind of move my window so that it's not, inverted or the sharing of the sharing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can position it correctly here. So at the bottom, I have the ability to, turn on and off different cameras or remove myself. The video, I have different layouts for the video, so I can make us full screen, different sizes, share along with screen sharing, those types of things.
Yeah.
And then within the studio, I've got branding that I can do. I can do video clips. And I believe Restream is the same as StreamYard, where all of these controls are just all browser-based. So nothing to install. And then what I did, Aaron, was I sent you an invite. So similar to like a live event where you've got presenters and you've got your audience, with StreamYard, unless I send you an invite, you can attend as a participant and listen in, comment, those types of things. The commenting is up here. I'm not sure if you can see that from your side. As a host.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay, cool. So as people make comments, I see them there. And I think the deal is on Facebook, It might be that I can see the comments here as they come in, but I have to go to Facebook to make comments or respond.
Right.
On YouTube and Twitter, I believe it's both read and write. So I can write the comments right from here as opposed to having to go to the platform. Yep. That's why Facebook is grayed out. I can either send comments directly to one platform because the question would have come in through YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense maybe to respond to everybody if it was specifically to a question, unless I set context with the answer or with my response. So this is what StreamYard looks like. In a upcoming stream for this masterclass, we'll go through what some of the other options are. OBS, this Restream, we might even look at some other services as well. So thanks for joining me today. It's nice to have a extra.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. Okay. So to end the stream, I already showed in Teams where you do that with the end button. I can share that screen again, just so everybody can see it here. So we go over to the stream within the Microsoft Live event. We end the event here. Aaron, I don't think your audio will be in the live event because I'm wearing a headset and that's what's being broadcast to the live event. So I've ended that. And then if I come back over to StreamYard and share that screen again, same kind of thing here. I just end the broadcast up here in the upper right. And then the broadcast will end for everybody. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central. Aaron, are you Mountain Time still?
I'm still Mountain Time.
Okay. So you're an hour before. It's lunchtime for you.
That's right. Thank
Thanks,
you, Dan. It was a great broadcast.
Thank you.